Hi, my name is Andreas Heyland. I will be teaching Integrative Biology of Invertebrates this fall, Zoology 3700. Some of you took Zoology 2700 with me in the winter semester, which is more of a systematic look at invertebrate diversity. And Zoology 3700 is really now more focusing on the functional and evolutionary aspects of invertebrate diversity. So in contrast to Zoology 2700, where we discussed a lot of phylogenetic relationships between organisms, we're now trying to find out how these relationships are relevant from a functional perspective, from a biomechanics perspective, physiological and developmental perspective. A lot of what we're going to do is going to be presented to you through lectures this semester, where I'm posting the lectures at the beginning of the week, and then we have a discussion group at the end of the week. There will also be a lab component where you can do exercises and solve assignments as part of the lab component. Because of the no in-person classes, there's basically two major changes to the format of the course. So we'll obviously not have any direct in-person interactions in this course, but there will be plenty of opportunities to interact via Zoom calls, discussion boards, and I also set up some scheduled office hours. So the teaching approach that we're using is more of a flipped classroom, where I basically provide you with all the material that you should have for the course ahead of time. You can go through that material at your own time. And then at the end of the week, we will have a discussion about that as a group. The same thing will be happening in the lab component of the course, where you will be having exercises and certain assignments that you can solve and discuss with the instructor. We have several opportunities for you to get support within the course. The first one is that we have set up several discussion boards on CourseLink, of course, where you can always submit questions and you can ask questions. These discussion boards are being monitored by all of us, by the TAs, myself, and the teaching instructor on a regular basis, and we will actually address these questions. We will organize them a little bit and then address them all in our discussions on Fridays at the end of the week. So that's one of the things where if you have any questions or concerns, you can always address them there. The other thing that I decided to do is that on Mondays and Wednesdays, where we would usually have lecture in person, I reserved about an hour for a scheduled office hour where you can sign up either individually or in groups. If you have concerns that concern other people as well, you can also form groups and sign up as a group. And so we have a minimum of 15 minutes per group or per person where we can go through some of these questions. And again, if we need more time, we can always do that as well. The TAs will also be actively involved in the course, so they will be in all the discussion groups. They will be as part of the lab. They will also monitor these discussion boards and make sure that we don't miss any of your questions. There will also be a lab report that you will develop as an assignment. And so there will be plenty of opportunities to interact with us and the TAs in the preparation of that lab project. As in previous years, the course will have a lecture midterm exam and a lecture final exam, which each count 20% towards your final mark. There will also be a component for the lab, which will be broken down into the individual assignments that you get during lab periods. In addition to that, we also have a top hat quiz component that counts 10%. And we will have several quizzes every Friday when we have the group discussion at the beginning. These quiz questions are really important because they will be reflective of what you will probably encounter on the midterm exam and the final exam. So in some way, they're a little bit of a practice for you guys. And then they will all be available to you before the final exam and the midterm exam. The other thing that we added is a participation mark. So we'll monitor your participation in the discussion groups for the lecture, where you can submit answers. These answers are not always graded, but we will keep track of how much you participate in the discussions. There will be no manuals, lab manuals obviously sold this year. So this is going to be something that you will get electronically. You should have a subscription to Top Hat. If you took Zoology 2700, you already have that anyways, because it's given to you by the year. But if you don't have one yet, please make sure you sign up for Top Hat. You also, if you took Zoology 2700, which is actually a prerequisite for this course, you don't need to buy a new textbook. The textbook is the same one that we used in 2700. But again, if you don't have it, then please make sure you purchase it. There will also be several copies on reserve in the library, as well as the other invertebrate biology textbooks that we're using. Otherwise, you just need access to CourseLink, and that's pretty much all the requirements. So as a teaching team, we're really excited to have you in this course in a few weeks. We put a lot of thought into how we can make this an attractive course for you, considering the circumstances. And I think what we were able to come up with is actually a very interesting and exciting program that will keep you engaged, and hopefully you will learn a lot of new things about invertebrate biology.